Your product or your service is not enough for you to win in the marketplace. If your product was enough, then we could allude to the fact that BlackBerry would not have gone defunct. Or take Kodak. Kodak would not have lost the battle in the marketplace. Or more recently, Blockbuster would not have lost the battle against Netflix. All these examples I've mentioned, they had a product and they had a service. In some cases, they had 40 to 50% market share, and yet they still lost the battle. The market can be brutal, and consumers can be quite whimsical and unpredictable. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a little known secret that companies are using to get your attention and to get you to buy more of their product. Having a product is not enough. Having a service will not make you win in the marketplace.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning.
Last week I did a video on the Veblen effect and how customers perceive a product or service and what they are willing to pay for that product. If you have not watched that video, I'm going to put the link somewhere up here. Then do well to go there and watch that video. In today's competitive global business landscape, the product or the service is no longer enough for the customer. There's one essential economic offering that customers are looking for. And if you want to know what this is, what this secret ingredient is, don't go anywhere. Make sure you watch this video to the end. You see, the question that comes to mind is, how did we get here? How did we get to a technologically driven economy where almost every product or service can be delivered using technology? How have we evolved as Homo sapiens? First of all, let's look at the first kind of economy that mankind invented. This is the agrarian economy. You see, in the agrarian economy, the predominant economic offering was commodities. What we did mainly was to extract raw materials from the ground or to plant crops and depended on the harvesting cycles in order to get these crops and sell to the marketplace. In this agrarian economy, one of the key characteristics was barter trading, where if one family was growing tomatoes and another family was growing pepper, the family that grew tomatoes would harvest the tomatoes and exchange a bit of the yield for pepper with the other family. This at the macro level was also evidenced in how nations traded amongst themselves. The commodity market was predominant in the agrarian economy. The importance of the agrarian economy was hindered by the fact that we needed to depend on Mother Nature. When farmers planted crops, they had to wait for the rains to determine how the yields would be like. If Mother Nature was on your side, it means you won the economic war. As human as we are, we began to think about how we could extricate ourselves from the overdependency on Mother Nature.
The feeling's so different now. You got me floating here, a feather in the air.
In the industrial economy, the predominant economic offering was making goods. You see, the agrarian economy was all about extractives and commodities. And now mankind was thinking about technologies that could help, one, to convert those raw materials from the agrarian economy into finished products. Goods became the economic powerhouse of nations. And so there were the inception of manufacturing technologies that helped in mass production. People like Henry Ford, who optimized the production assembly line, ensured that products could be produced at scale and to make product and goods affordable for the masses. The Model T is a typical example. Henry Ford produced vehicles of a specific color. So you could only buy Model T in a black color. Customers did not have control over the color of the vehicle. The characteristic of the industrial era was to mainly produce goods that could be manufactured at scale and at a price that made it available for the masses. With the industrial era came the need for organizations to consider value-creating offerings that were optimized enough to move products from a point of production to the point of consumption. This was also characterized by the introduction of steam engines, railways, and other means of transportation. So taking the Model T example, where all vehicles were in a specific color, consumers always have a personal taste. So people started asking, why can't I have my color in red? Why can't this product that I bought last week be delivered 2 weeks before the delivery date? And this gradually ushered in the era of personalization. Consumers wanted products or goods to be personalized to their specific taste. This invariably ushered in the service economy. In the service economy, customers or consumers were looking for personalized goods and they wanted these services to be delivered at the highest quality. The service economy was predominantly facilitated by the proliferation of new technologies and new ways of doing business. The internet was a major factor in advancing the service economy. The intermediation of technology in delivering goods helped in advancing the service economy. The mistake many of us do is that we think that we are still in the service economy, and this has been the narrative all around the world. Before I share with you what kind of economy that we find ourselves in, I would like you to understand this principle. In the industrial economy, when goods become proliferated and they become ubiquitous, they begin to behave like commodities. In other words, there's little differentiation and there's little customization. In the same vein, services can also become commoditized. When they become ubiquitous and they become proliferated, they also begin to behave like commodities where there's little differentiation. Take, for example, the ability to have your product delivered to your doorstep was once a competitive advantage, was once a touted service that set one company from another. These days, even startups that are on Etsy or on Shopify also offer this exact same service of door-to-door delivery. So what is this new economy that I'm referring to? Dr. Joseph Pine is a researcher who did extensive research on this phenomenon, and I borrow from his insights and experiences based on what is happening in our current world. The new economy we find ourselves in is not the industrial economy, neither is it the agrarian economy or the service economy. This is the experience or experiential economy. What is this experience economy? Experiences are distinct economic offerings that help to etch memories in the minds of consumers. In the experience economy, consumers are not looking for a product or a service. They are looking for memories. The predominant economic offering in the experience economy is authenticity. Consumers are more interested in the stories or narratives behind the product or service more than the product or service themselves. This is why many companies today are championing the green revolution, trying to explain to consumers that their products are made from recycled materials or their products or services have a lower carbon blueprint. In the experience economy, consumers are looking to have an experience and they are looking to share memories with the product or the organization in question. Consequently, this means that companies are no longer looking for your money. What they are looking for is your time and attention. Companies like Meta, Snap, TikTok, Twitter are all fighting for the attention of the consumer, not their money, their attention. They know very well that if consumers can have an experience on these platforms, then that consumer would be convinced to let go of their money to buy whatever product or service that is being offered. The rise of DIY, the do-it-yourself movement, is one of the key characteristics of the experience economy, where consumers want to build the product themselves. Take IKEA, for example. The selling of furniture has been in existence for centuries. However, IKEA came up with a business model that allows the consumer to have their own personal project while buying the components needed to make a furniture at home. This is the experience they are looking for, and this is the experience that IKEA is offering. In the experience economy, as said by Dr. Joseph Pine, the experience is the marketing. Give your customers an experience with your product, a narrative with your product, and that will do the marketing for you. What it means is, do not focus on just your product or your services, because products and services have been commoditized in the experience economy. The story and the experience will become your marketing. This will become the differentiating factor between you and your competitors. Do whatever you can to remain authentic to the true identity of your product. Do not be pressured into becoming like everyone else. What is the unique proposition that sets you apart? If you identify that, try to make it known to the consumer. Let them know that your product or service has a story behind. It is these stories and narratives that makes you authentic. In some cases, it is expedient to take your customers behind the scenes of how the product is made. In the experience economy, the predominant economic offering is authenticity. So when next you are developing your product or your service, think of the experience. The customer's attention is the most important commodity in the experience economy. Think about it. How do I get the customer's attention? How do I get consumers to spend more time with my product? How do I elevate the experiences for my consumers? How do I personalize the experience for all the people that buy my product or service? Go beyond the product, go beyond the service, and render experience. That will be all for today's episode of PKB Inspire. I truly want us to reach the 10,000 subscriber mark. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, please do well to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon as well, so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Until then, I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay authentic and stay true to yourself.